Good morning, everyone. Let's begin a new chapter in geography, manufacturing industries. The sixth chapter, manufacturing industries. We'll begin with a small story. Okay. On the occasion of Diwali, Harish went to a market with his parents. They purchased shoes and clothes for him. His mother purchased utensils, that means the cooking vessels. Then sugar, tea and diyas. Diya, we know, earthen lamps, we are lighting the diyas during Diwali. At this all, Harish observed that the shops in the market were flooded with many items for sale. Not only particular items, so many types of different varieties of items are there to be sold in the market. He wondered how many of the items could be made in such large quantities. How they can make, how people can make these many items in large quantities. We know many bulk quantity of goods are available in the market. How they are produced. His father explained that shoes, clothes, sugar, etc. are manufactured in machines and in larger industries. Some of the utensils we can find the cooking vessels, especially manufactured in small industries, while items like diyas, earthen lamps, which are made by individual artisans in household industry. Now see here three terms we have studied: large industry, small industry and household industries, or the individual household industry, which also we call as domestic industries, or the other industries as very small industry they are. Okay, so we will study in here in this lesson about how manufacturing industries are taking place, how goods are produced, largely a bulk goods are produced in our country. Then first of all, let us see what is manufacturing. Manufacturing industries means manufacturing, which means the producing something. We are manufacturing something, we are producing something, we are preparing something. So some sort of production or taking place in the industry. So let's see, production of goods in a large quantities. Here in the market we have seen that many goods are largely produced. So after processing, these goods are made. Okay, how the processing is taking place? We know many types of goods are available. For example, we wear shirt. So how the shirt is manufactured? Well, we know it's produced from raw materials. Raw materials are available. So how manufacturing is called production of goods in large quantities after processing the raw materials. Okay, we know for producing a shirt we need cotton. Cotton is an agricultural product or agriculture raw material which is available in the agriculture sector. So after processing the raw materials, we convert the raw materials into finished products. So production of goods in large quantities after processing from raw materials to make more valuable products, that is called a manufacturing. So here the paper is manufactured from wood, and sugar from sugarcane, iron and steel from iron ore, and aluminium from bauxite. These aluminium vessels we have using in kitchen, it is made from bauxite only. So the clothes which we are wearing is produced from the cotton or other agricultural products only. So people employed in the secondary activities. What is the secondary activities? Industrial activities or manufacturing goods. Okay, so people who are employed in the secondary activities are manufacturing the goods from primary activities or primary materials. So what is primary materials? Raw materials which is available in the agriculture sector are converted into secondary sector or manufactured goods. When the manufacturing or is completed, we say it is finished goods. So when we are buying a shirt from the market, it is a finished product, because when we are buying a TV set or television set, it is a manufactured good or finished product ready to be used. TV, when you are purchasing from the market, we can directly use it. Okay, so how TV is manufactured, television is manufactured, there are many smaller parts are combined together or assembled together. Okay, so then it becomes a television set ready to use. After completion of the assembling work, and it is ready to use. So here many of such kind of materials which are primary materials or the raw materials are converted into finished products. Okay, so the workers employed in the steel factories, we can say car, breweries, textile industries, bakeries, etc. fall into this category, which is the second category, secondary activities. Okay, they are doing the manufacturing work. Now some people are employed in providing services also. See here, primary sector produces the raw materials, secondary sector produces the finished products. Now coming to the tertiary sector, which is also called the service sector. Who are the people? These finished products or manufactured products are transported to the market. They are and sold out in the market. That is coming under the service sector. We know that they are providing the service, transporting the goods and selling in the market. These all coming under the tertiary sector, or they are providing services. So in this chapter we are mainly concerned with the manufacturing industries which fall in the secondary sector. Manufacturing of goods or any products are falling in the secondary sector. Now in the economic strength of a country, how the country is developed, America is a well developed nation, India is a developing nation. The economic strength or financial capacity of the country is measured by the development of manufacturing industries. How much of industries are available in any country, or manufacturing industries are available in any country, based on the percentage of production in any country, we can say the country is developed or developing or underdeveloped nations. So what factors are important for the manufacturing sector? So how the importance of manufacturing sector takes place here? We can say this manufacturing sector is the backbone of the development in any economic country or any economy or any nation. So if there are agriculture in India, we know that India is an agricultural country. It's not a developed nation, okay, developing nation only. Or where the agriculture or other allied activities are prominent, it may not be a developed nation. Okay, where industries are prominent, like America or the European countries, where industries are prominent, they are well developed nations. So often we say manufacturing sector is considered the backbone of development in any economic, any country. Okay, so why it is said? So we can say because of manufacturing industries not only help the modernizing agriculture. See one important point, if there are industries, they can modernize agriculture. How they are able, if there are industries more, how can they modernize the agriculture? See, because they can provide many type of modern agricultural machines. We know, for example, we can take when we are going back to our ancient history, people used to do the agriculture by using the primitive methods, plowing the field with bullocks, or bulls are used, or the animals are used for tilling the land. For harvesting, manual labor is used, for sowing the seeds, etc. But now in the modern agriculture, due to the development of industries, machines are manufactured in industries. What type of machines? Now we know that for tilling the land we use tractors. Even for harvesting we are using the harvesting machines, or combined harvesters are there. These machines can be harvesting the crop and also removing its husk, winnowing, everything is taking place, and removing the husk and made the grains, food grain is separated from the husk, etc. All these are done by the machines nowadays. So how industries can help the agriculture also. Agriculture development can be taken place with the help of modernizing industries, or agriculture also can be modernized with the help of industries. Okay, so here also people will be provided many job opportunities. Okay, so in the secondary agricultural income also will be increased due to the development of agriculture with the help of machines. Industrial development also is a precondition for eradication of unemployment. Unemployment can be reduced if there are industries. More people will be getting employment opportunity in the industrial sector, so that poverty can be eliminated. If more people are employed in many different sectors, poverty can be wiped out from our country. Then this was the main philosophy behind the public sector industries and joint sector ventures are established in India. So one thing, government, why the public sector industries and joint sector industries are also established here, which means under the government control some industries have set up, that is completely public sector, and with the help of private individuals, the government has set up some of the joint sector ventures, so that what was the main motive of setting up this type of industries? To eradicate poverty and to provide more employment opportunities to the people in our country. So here it also aimed at bringing down the regional disparities by establishing industries in the tribal and backward areas also. One more thing, we know many areas of our country has imbalance in industries. Some regions are no industries are available, so that the government has set up a public sector industries and joint venture industries also in the tribal areas or backward areas. They have selected which regions are completely backward in order to make a balance with the developed regions and underdeveloped regions. The government has set up some of the industries in the tribal areas or in the backward areas. Other importance, we can say export of manufactured goods expands trade and commerce. Exporting the goods which are good quality goods which are produced within our country are exported to foreign countries. There we are getting the foreign exchange, foreign money, so that is also adds an additional income for our country. So countries that transform their raw materials into wide variety of finished goods of higher value are prosperous, which means the countries which like Japan and all producing such kind of valuable goods, very valuable goods, they are becoming very prosperous. So industries are developed in Japan or other European countries and America, etc. They are prospering. Okay, so here also we can say India's prosperity lies in increasing and diversifying its manufacturing industries as quickly as possible. Now India also is developing because we are also concentrating more on industrial sector or the secondary sector. Here in our country, we know agriculture is very prominent. Agriculture and industry are not exclusive of each other, which means both are related together. And with the how can we develop agriculture? By developing the industries only, because industries can provide sufficient machines for the modernizing agriculture. So here they move in hand, agriculture and industry move in hand, both go together. For instance, the agro industries in India have given a major boost to agriculture by raising its productivity. They depend on the latter for the raw materials and sell their products such as irrigation pumps, fertilizers, insecticides, pesticides, plastic and PVC pipes, machines and tools, etc. to the farmers. When there are industries in our country, they provide or they produce electricity pump sets for it is necessary for developing agriculture, and PVC pipes, piping industries are there. Also they provide fertilizer, insecticides, pesticides, etc. to the farmers. So these are the goods produced in the industrial sector. They are provided to the farmers also, so that the agriculture productivity increases in a large scale. So development and competitiveness of this manufacturing industry has not only assisted agriculturals in increasing their production, also the production process will become very efficient. So when industries are set up, it not only helps the agriculture productivity increases, also the production processes very efficiently they can do. We know when earlier people used without any pump sets natural ways of irrigation, that means looking at the sky for monsoon rains. If there is a shortage of monsoon, agriculture fails. When now in the modern agriculture, farmers have pump sets or other facilities or irrigation facilities are available, so that all through the year they can cultivate multiple crops. Not only depending upon the monsoon, they can cultivate many other crops also, second crop, third crop, also three crops also can be cultivated in a year, so that their productivity increases. So in the present day world of globalization, our industries needs more efficient and competitive. We know the other countries are having much better technology they are using and producing many modern goods and exporting to other countries. India also need to be used the modern technology, so that more goods can be, more machines, better quality machines can be produced in our country. So self-sufficiency alone is not enough. What is self-sufficiency? We are able to live in our country, whatever we are able to produce, the whatever the goods are needed for our people. So that only alone is not enough. We need our manufactured goods must be at par in quality with those in the international market. If our goods cannot compete with the other goods produced in the international market, for example, we can say we are producing many mobile phones and still we are buying the foreign mobile phones, other companies from the foreign company mobile phones largely we are using, not Indian products. So what is the difference? Why the people of India do not buy the Indian made or Indian manufactured mobile phones? They are preferring the foreign mobile phones because of its quality difference. More facilities, more quality we can find in the foreign goods. Okay, if we are producing the within the our country, best technology if we are using, our people will prefer the Indian goods only. They won't buy the foreign goods. Also foreign goods are very cheaply available in our country. That is the reason people prefer for the foreign goods. So these all have to be, can be changed with the modern technology. If increasing the or improving the modern technology and producing goods within our country. Now tomorrow we will study what is the contribution of industry to the national economy.